Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and I want to say Shalom to Yakim Akwath out there, pursuing this truth diligently, coming at you once again with another lesson. And I wanted to touch on this, the whole Epstein thing, all right, why, strike it while it's hot. I believe last Friday, they released, releasing is a loose word, all right, but a couple thousand articles, photos, papers, all right, from, what they would consider as the Epstein files, all right, the records of, his criminal history and shit that he's done and shit that was going on the island and whatnot. And it's one of those things where you're never really gonna get that full list. All right, everybody knows that has half a mind. The Democrats had a chance to release it and they didn't release it. All right, the Republicans, are in office now, and the way that they've released it is obvious. I mean, most of the photos that they released were just photos of Bill Clinton, all right, and all these other people blacked out. And Trump's in that. I mean, Trump and Epstein were good friends. There's so many people that are in there. They deliberately tried to obscure. They had pictures of Michael Jackson that were in there with blurred out children, but it was actually his kids, and then the other lady that he was taking photos with kids. I don't know if it was his woman at the time, but trying to make him look bad. And then there's information behind that was really just a fan photo that was taken while the housing market was being explored. Okay, I guess Epstein and Michael happened to be looking at some of the same houses, and I guess Epstein wanted a photo, and Michael Jackson gave him the photo. All right, and at that time Epstein wasn't even really somebody; he was kind of a nobody. So just a lot of things going on, and they're just purposely. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing. It's a politician thing. It's an Edomite. You're trying to think. Everybody's trying to figure out who's in everybody's in list. Okay, there was a couple logs that got leaked not too long ago. I mean, Chris Tucker, Tom Hanks, Eminem, just a whole bunch of people. Just a whole bunch of people. Oprah Winfrey. All right. Trying to think of other people. I believe Ellen DeGeneres was on the list. Who else? Mick Jagger. I believe there's photos of Mick Jagger as well, though. And that guy, he was doing some shit. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Can't remember. There's a couple black stars on there too. It's from classic black actors and actresses from shit back in the day, like Tyler Perry movies and Deliver Us from Eva type shit. I'm not saying literally from Deliver Us from Eva, but people that 90s and 80s 90s black actors and actresses that were very popular in the scene at the time. I believe there was a few on there, at least one or two. But there was a couple people, man, that well, not a couple people. There was a lot of people. Everybody has a favorite person that's on that list. Right? A lot of people love Tom Hanks. All right? A lot of people love Tom Hanks. And the thing is, it's not blue or red. All right? It's not Democrat, Republican. It's the politicians. It's these Edomites. All right? It's these upper echelon Edomites. That's what they get down with. All right? Is doing freaky deaky Epstein shit. All right, whether they went to that island to do the freaky deaky with a kid, all right, or a child, I should say, not use their term. Well, I mean, it would be a kid, all right. It literally would be a kid, because that's why they call them kids, because kid is likening to a sacrificial goat. So they did that shit on that island, right? Sacrifice, whether it be a sacrifice, witchcraft, ritual, humiliation ritual, whatever happens to be taking place. All right, weird celebrity sex parties or whatever happens to be happening there, right? And it's just that you're never going to get full transparency about that, all right? Now, I've always said you never know. The Lord doesn't give all of his secrets away within the Bible. But we don't know if we're going to get some type of, while we're on the chariot, we might, who knows, we might get a debriefing, right, as they call it. And we might see, essentially be debriefed from Babylon and be like, okay, here's really what happened. All right. And then we just get to watch, a movie, and it's thousands of years, of course, but it feels faster than that, and we get all the clips and everything, and seeing what these demons were really up to, how they did it. I've speculated that, and it's just something. It's not necessarily anything to buy. Like I said, the Lord doesn't give all his secrets, but we it seems plausible that we might get some sort of like debriefing like that and get to see, what really went down. All right, here's how it really was. And I mean, the scriptures say that all anything hid is but for a moment, so you never know. Look at this one, same vein. Luke 12:2, it says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known." We can continue on because it's perfect. In verse 3, it says, "Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear and closet shall be proclaimed upon the rooftops." And this is in this society. So you never know, when scriptures like this are out here, you don't know if this is referring to an event that necessarily wasn't detailed within the Bible, that, maybe, the Lord will really reveal everything. All right, when we're in the chariots, and give us like I said, like how they run the clips back in the NFL or like MMA or boxing, right? They'll run it back, and we'll get to see, what really happened, them during the Crusades. All right, well, them during the Edomite, right, rule, them changing into the Idumeans, them changing into the Romans, them changing into the European and the Crusades, and all the things that they did, and covering up and destroying the faces of the judges, putting their name and their faces and their images in there, in the Bible, of course, and all the different things. We don't know, all right, but unless for that, all right, we're not gonna get any type of transparency, all right, from the people of this world. All right, it would really have to be an act of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, revealing that unto us, okay? Because these guys aren't going to release it, all right? They're never going to, and the foolish people out there were thinking, oh, no, Epstein files, release the Epstein files. There's no world, all right? There's no scenario where the Epstein files are released unredacted in their whole form, unaltered and untouched. Even back in the day, when they were, release them, behind scenes, they're fucking removing names and doing all this shit. Well, that's illegal. Well, you're right. Oh no, I guess they can't do it then. All right, I guess the Epstein thing should never happen in the first place then, because it was illegal. They do illegal shit. They do it behind closed doors. All right. And like the scripture says, that these things are eventually revealed. All right, we might not get the whole piece of the pie, but we're gonna at least, take some nibbles out of it, right? So Epstein blew up. All right, years and years ago. That's something that nobody even knew about. All right, nobody even knew there was an island of kid diddlers and doing all weird type of shit. Right? Look at what happened with Diddy. All these things are being revealed, as the scriptures say. But we might not have 100% clarity on the situation. We might just get 40 or 50%, but it's at least revealed to an extent, right? And these demons, their actions are not going uncovered, right? So I'm gonna actually play this because not this one, but talks about Epstein files being released. I want to hear what they have to say. This is from CBS Saturday Morning. Fair use, right?
President Trump did not address Friday's long-awaited release of files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The Justice Department began releasing thousands of records following the passage last month of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, a measure the president opposed for months before signing it into law. But as CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarland reports, the document dump was far from complete.
Photos this morning of many of the powerful who ran in convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's circle. Bill Clinton seems swimming in a pool with Ghislaine Maxwell and another woman with her face redacted. Clinton with another unknown woman on his lap. Celebrities, too, including Michael Jackson and Diana Ross.
That's what it was, Diana Ross. And, yeah, they tried to use that photo.
Diana Ross.
And, you know, there's just a bunch of photos that were used, and these were Diana Ross's and Michael Jackson's kids. These are all the ones that are being redacted. There's actually images out there that you can go and see. These weren't just from the Epstein files. You can actually go and find the actual photos that are not redacted.
Ross, Epstein with Mick Jagger, and Chris Tucker with
There you go, Chris Tucker.
Maxwell. Many of the records are heavily redacted. Survivors say suspiciously so, including Epstein grand jury records. We do see Epstein's book of contacts with the name of President Trump, his late wife, and his daughter Ivanka. A list of girls or young women listed as masseuses keeps the names private, but shows there were more than 250.
How confident are you at the end of the day, the end of this period, you'll get everything?
I don't feel tremendously confident that everything will come out.
Yeah, it never will.
Including Annie Farmer, have been fighting for years for the release of records and say they're frustrated these records are incomplete.
There's been a lot of effort and money and time put into redactions, not to protect victims, but to protect people in power.
Many of the records released have long been public already, including videos in the jail the night Epstein died, which had been obtained months ago by CBS News. The Department of Justice sent Congress a letter Friday night defending what they released, saying they were being transparent but also protecting victims. The bipartisan group that pushed through this law is not satisfied. They're calling for hearings and potential legal challenges to force the department to release more.
Ain't gonna do nothing. It's been made evidently clear that they don't give a shit about rules. They don't give a singular shit. All right, Trump's doing all this stuff, and they're really not. Because the way he set up his government, he was smart with it. All right, he started putting people in different offices and doing all this shit and buying people out. And you know, once you have someone like him, an oligarch, the other rich people are just gonna try to keep him in because they don't get taxed as much under, you know, a billionaire. All right, a billionaire is gonna make laws that benefit billionaires. All right, and millionaires. So the millionaires and billionaires are gonna vote for this guy because and back this guy. Because, you know, they get the tax breaks. It's easier on them because they're rich as well. So you're never going to get any full transparency with this unless, like I said, it's handed down from Meow Bao Meow Sha. That's the only way it would happen because these people are not going to, no one, Trump, no one, right? Not even Tom Hanks himself wants that fucking list out. All your favorite celebrities are on that list. All your favorite celebrities are on that list. I mean, you got, like, why is Chris Tucker with Ghislaine Maxwell? For what? For what reason? All right, there's no feasible reason that would ever even occur, right? All these people there, and these people got to do, you know, all your favorite celebrities got fucked in the ass. All right, they've had to do humiliation rituals. All right, I mean, newest things happen with Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes wearing a dress and shit. Humiliation rituals, man. You do something that they don't like, now you got to go through a humiliation ritual, right? So you can see it says that the Justice Department released thousands of new records. All right. It says on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein on Friday, but at least 550 pages in the documents were fully redacted in the initial release. CBS News has found. It says the newly released files, including photos of several prominent people on Epstein's orbit, images of his homes, and investigative reports that detail disturbing allegations against the late sex offender. But the heavy redactions in many records have drawn criticism from Democrats and some Republicans as the department defends its handling of the files. One series of 3 consecutive documents, and this is where they're actually released, is from the U.S. Department of Justice. Here's the Epstein files, everyone. This is the Epstein files. All right. You know, it's why even release anything? Okay, here I have an unreleased photo from the Epstein files. Okay, you ready? Here it is. This is an unreleased photo from no one's ever seen this before. All right? And the government doesn't even want you to know about this. Here it is. There's an unreleased photo. It's just the color black. You know, look at all these Epstein files. You know? Shit. I mean, look, you even got cats out there colored like the Epstein file. It's ridiculous, man. Look at this shit. Why even release this? You know? Why even release this? For what reason? What reason do you need this? Look at this. Boom. All the way up. All the way up. All the way up. Not a single anything. And the things that they did release, you know, were, oops. And the things that they did release, I mean, are largely just bullshit. I mean, you can go and get, all these different things. You can go in here and go and look at view files, dataset 1. And it's just a series of photos. Alright. And you can go through them. There are some photos that are in here. But I mean, largely they're just photos of his house. Right? There's nothing necessarily stand out. Right? I've looked through quite a few of them on the phone. I mean, you can go and look at them, and that's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's where they broke down the door. All right, or that would be interesting, or if someone's trying to break out. I mean, you can go and look through them. People have probably pretty much scrubbed through them already. There's nothing there but just photos of his home. All right, with nothing that is necessarily too standoutish. You know, definitely weird decor. But, I mean, if you think you're going to see a whole bunch of, I mean, just weird decor and how he decorated and shit. So, I mean, if you think you're going to find, I don't know, some type of really telling evidence, you're not, right? There's nothing in there. So they just released a bunch of photos. You know, it looks like staging photos for homes. A couple of celebrities, mostly Bill Clinton, with everybody else blurred out. That's pretty much it, right? And you go and go look at all these photos. This is the shit that they released. All right, blurred face. I don't know who that is. I guess there's Clinton. You see, there you go. Any photo with Clinton. I mean, Clinton's not an innocent guy. But they did, you know, specifically just try to go and get as many photos as they possibly can with anybody but Trump. I mean, of course. I mean, it's Trump's president, so he doesn't want to be known. But, I mean, you can see the photos are nothing. I mean, they just look like a regular, like, they just look like regular photos from, like, a hangout. Right? There's some weird shit going on. Right? I mean, it's just, there's some weird photos for sure, but nothing that's necessarily, like, illegal. I mean, look, they look like travel photos, right? They're just travel photos. You can keep on going on. You can just keep looking. And there's nothing that's standoutish, right? So this is what they released with Epstein. You know, it's just a bunch of pictures, and they know what people wanted released. All right, they wanted evidence. All right, they wanted evidence that some shit was going on, and everybody knows that some shit was going on. All right, but they didn't want none of that. All right, they just want these photos. And what does this tell us? What do these photos tell us? Nothing. These photos don't tell us a goddamn thing. All right, you can keep on looking. These photos aren't going to show you anything. Oh, here's a list of a couple photos. So, I mean, look at all these photos. Look at all the evidence that's being given away. All right? And a bunch of these are redacted. Why? Why are these redacted? It's curious. You see, the ones that are missing shit, let me zoom out here. the ones that are missing shit, these are the ones that actually have something in it that we need to see. Okay? You see all these redacted things. These are the ones where we have the information that we need to see. Okay? But they don't want us to have any of that information. So, you know, if anybody thought that these were going to be really truly released to the full extent, they're just dumb. All right, they're just dumb. But you can go over here to it's just justice.gov Epstein Department of Justice /disclosures. There's a whole bunch of different ones. This is the DOJ disclosures. This is the important section. This is all the different shit. And you can go and look. There's a video and everything. Like I said, you can download all. I'm kind of sketchy with downloading any of those things. I mean, I know they could push those things, you know, online as well. But I feel like when you download, you know, a zip, you know, they could have hid, you know, trackers or some type of shit in those fucking zips. I mean, anything with a zip. You know, I mean, they could be scanned roughly, but we don't know what type of technology they have. All right, of course, it's not going to come up as a Trojan or anything like that, like any type of malware. It's going to be some type of fucking thing. I don't know. I just don't trust it. All right, part of me wants to download them, part of me don't. All right, just download them all. I mean, shit. Let's see, download all. You know, 1.3 gigabytes. You know. Remove it. Don't need it. But I guess it really wouldn't be an issue until you opened the zip. But still, you know, call me paranoid, but I just know how these motherfuckers work. You know, oh, they're interested, all right, and put a bug in the file, so, you know, keep it. And they can already do that. They already do that. There's times where our lessons start glitching out for seemingly no reason. But yeah, man. So let's get a couple scriptures here, and we'll close out. Just kind of a little short one today. But this is Habakkuk 1:4, and dealing with, you know, there's not going to be any form of justice in the society. All right, you're not going to, you know, the old guys, we were wrong, you're right. You know, we're going to step down because we've just been so bad lately. And, you know, we feel ashamed. No, they're not going to do that. All right, Habakkuk 1:4, it says, therefore, the law is slacked. Yeah, we'll start here. I mean, you can read up if you really want, but it says, therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. So there's constantly wrong judgment going out in this place, right? This place is wicked. You're not going to get anything, you're not going to get any form of justice in this place. There's Habakkuk 1:4 in the AMP Bible. It says, therefore the law is ineffective and ignored, and justice is never upheld. For the wicked surround the righteous, therefore justice becomes perverted. Okay, so the law is ineffective in them. It's effectively of none effect. All right, they're not going off of biblical law. They don't give a shit. All right, it's ignored, like it says. It's and ignored. All right, it's ineffective and ignored. These Edomites, they just ignore it. They don't care, right? So I got a whole bunch of other ones right here. So of course we got Isaiah 29:15. And this is one of the better ways to do it. You can go in, I mean, if you're looking for, because you can just type in KJV, obscuring truth, right? And you know, you don't really get it. You know, you can get some easy ones if you go in, like KJV lie, right? Then you'll get like an review about lying. But the best way to do it is get here. I only got a couple from it because they're all good scriptures, don't get me wrong, but, you know, not really applying to this. We'll go through it though. We'll see. Let's see. Isaiah. We didn't get Isaiah 29:15. What am I doing? It's right over here. Let me get it in the King James Version first. So yeah, man, you know, wrong judgment's going to proceed here. You're going to get people that are, you know, not innocent, but they're innocent of the crime that they're being accused as, you know, getting locked behind jail. Jake being, you know, put behind bars for 15 years for, you know, some crime that they didn't even commit. All right, while they're not necessarily innocent because the Lord has them in there for a reason, they are innocent to the crime that Esau is accusing them of. Right, so Isaiah 29:15 says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? So in the AMP, that says, woe, judgment is coming, to those who try to deeply hide their plans from the Lord, whose deeds are done in a dark place, and who say, who sees us, who knows us. And, you know, these Edomites really think that, you know, they're invincible. They think that they're even hiding from God himself. All right. And that they don't, you know, that they think in some grand way that they're going to get away with it. Right. What else do we have here? Let's see. See, ChatGPT gets these sometimes. I mean, this isn't really I mean, yeah, but no, that's really with false teachings. All right. So sometimes it doesn't grab it. It used to be better with getting, you know, certain things. But yeah, man, so we just close out of that. Because that's what they do. They try to purposely obscure the truth. Okay, they try to obscure it as much as possible so they can obviously try to get away with it. Right? That's what they do. That's Esau for you. I mean, let's get Proverbs 4 and 16, right? They have to do the wickedness. All right, it's like let's see. It's like how a cat has to meow and a dog has to bark. They just have to do it. Right? I had to think of a little saying there. They just have to do it. All right, they don't have a choice. So Proverbs 4 and 16 says, "For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall." Mind you, this is dealing with Esau. This is their motive as a person. So they can't look. They can't reveal all of the Epstein files, man. This is who they are as a people. So you know what type of heinous shit. I mean, like even people talk like you know how much illegal shit you wouldn't even want to see in those files. There's probably kids being, you know, assaulted sexually. There's probably, that I can only imagine. All right, mind you, it's not shit I want to imagine. All right, because you're not supposed to be doing that stuff with kids or children. Let me stop using their term, but I can only imagine. All right, just knowing what the Romans did. You know, if you look into history with, you know, making children perform fellatio. If you don't know what that is, you can look that up. To the older males. All right, and a lot of the time it was not only disgustingness with a child. On top of that, it was usually incest, because they'd make the younger brother perform fellatio or onto the older male, because they believed passing the seed down, all right, through an orgasm was how, you know, adulthood was passed on. That, mind you, Romans, Edomites, all right, through Herod, you know, that line was assimilated, right? So I can only imagine what's in those photos. All right, I've seen some weird video from years ago. Where like it was, and most of you saw that video too. It went out. It was like a bunch of little girls like washing their hands, and it was just weird. It was it was from the Epstein Island. All right, and they were just washing their hands, and nothing illicit was happening, but like it was just little girls lining up to wash their hands, and like they were in like white gowns or something. I don't know if it was from Epstein. It might have been from one of the other islands or some shit that was going on. I can't remember, but it was just fucking weird. I mean, you can tell that some weird shit was going on, right? You can tell some weird shit going on. So a lot of those things you wouldn't even want to see. All right, a lot of those blacked out images you don't want to even see. So it's just those things where that's the type of people they are. All right, Proverbs 4 and 16. How do you think these people are going to behave? Okay, it's like the apostles say, you know, he's the devil. How do you expect the devil to act? Like the devil, when they do devilish shit, you shouldn't be surprised. So they can't. All right, it would ultimately ruin. I mean, in people out, people are still holding on like, oh, there's some good people out there as far as these celebrities go. No, man, your favorite celebrity got fucked up the ass, or fucked a goat, or did something with a little girl or boy, or did some sacrificial act. All right, like Kanye with his mother, or some shit. All right, there's always something that's going on, and you know you can't hold tight to these celebrities, because these people aren't you. All right, they're on a different, lower level than you, and they're masons. They're doing weird fucking witchcraft rituals and sacrifices and sex parties and weird, as they call them, soul feastings. I mean, weird shit's been going out since the Hillary Clinton emails got released. You know, I mean, soul feastings and the whole, oh yeah, a chicken and a thing, all these different words, like code words, all right, and the whole Pizzagate scandal and all this, oh yeah, cheese pizza, and all this weird shit, and I can't, you see those videos like, oh yeah, we do like pizza together, we, and they don't say eat pizza, oh yeah, we like pizza, we love pizza, all right. It's just a bunch of weird shit, and pizza, to some degree, I don't know, I think cheese pizza is referring to CP, which is child, all right, and then, the word that comes after that would be pornography, all right, and then they say pizza or a cheesy pizza or whatever is like that for like, there was a whole thing where they were talking about it, like certain toppings are for a boy or another one is a girl, and all this different shit. I mean, there was a site, $4,000 for a picture of a cheese pizza, like that was popping up online and shit. There was a whole bunch of things. Yeah, I mean, the past 3 or 4 years, we've seen so many different weird fucking occurrences in the news. There was that one website, I don't remember where it was. It was like, they were all names of like missing children, all right, and they were like dressers and shit being sold for like $10,000. It just, it's all, there's a big ring, all right, and it goes far deeper, all right, than any of the normal man out there in the world that's not in this truth would be able to understand. It goes so deep. All of your famous celebrities, all of the famous politicians, they're all in it. There's this just crazy shit that's going on, shit that we can't even fathom, all right. This is Esau after all. There's shit that we can't even fathom. There's just sick shit going on. It's Esau's society, so he's gonna be doing sick shit. And the Lord's going to come back and strip him out of power. And it's just, it's like the scripture that comes to mind just saying that. Right? Ecclesiastes 10:8 says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Of course, referring from being translated to Esau to Jacob. All right, because we know Jacob, let's go and get that one as well. Esau is the end of the world. It's another way why we can tell who's in power right now. But 2nd Ezra 6:9 says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And yeah, man, so unrighteous dealings, and that's what they're doing. They're constantly in unrighteous dealings. What's another scripture? Because we already got what was it? Proverbs 4:16. There's another one. I guess how's it go? Power of their hands, because it isn't the power of their hands. Right here, Micah 2:1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity, all right, that come up with sin and wickedness, right, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. They have the ability to do so, all right, and you can go on to verse 2, and it really gives away who these devils are. But they have the ability to do it, man. And the Lord is going to strike these people out of power, all right, for millions of different ways, all right, million different ways. I mean, you can get Obadiah 1:10. All right, that's just one of the million different reasons why they're going to be taken out of power. Obadiah 1:10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. The scripture talks about, the author of all mischief against the Hebrews. There's just so many scriptures about Esau being booted, all right, and taken out, because they're evil. They're evil people, all right. He an evil man. All right, and he can't continue to rule. I mean, he would really destroy this whole planet if he was left to it. All right, all this shit, man, all this shit that they're doing is just horrible and heinous. So, but don't expect to get any type of transparency with the Epstein shit. I just wanted to make a little lesson off of this. I don't even know how long we went, about 33 minutes. That's fine. But like I said, Spirit isn't on me heavy as it usually is. I had to wake up hella early. I've been tired all day. I just not even too long ago just woke up. It's 1 a.m. and I just woke up from a 2-hour nap. It was supposed to be an hour one, but just fucking drained, man. So I still had to put something together. So I said, I've been wanting to touch on this to at least an extent. So yeah, man, this whole Epstein shit. don't think you're ever gonna. I mean, might get a couple more, little bit more transparent shit. You might end up seeing some photos that are a little crazy or whatever, but they're gonna try to hide 99% of the people that are in those things, and it's just because 99% of those people are 99% of the people that are in power right now. Okay, so the 1% being random people that just happen to be in a photo, people in the background, right? So, but yeah, these guys are, we really have everything we need, all right, with the Epstein files. We already know what's going on. We don't need to necessarily even see any photos. We know he was doing shit with kids. We know people were going to the island and doing shit with kids and doing sacrifices and doing weird rituals. All right, we already know that, all right, and that's not shit we'd like to see photos of. I mean, maybe of the rituals and weird shit going on, but we don't want to see anybody doing anything with a child. All right, we protect the children, man. We don't want to see that type of shit. That shit's infuriating. So, when we know it's happening, I mean, so, but people are like, oh, I can't believe it until I see it. Well, I guess you're not going to believe then, all right, because they're never going to release half that shit for you to see. And again, like I said, everybody is on that list. Everybody is on that list, and at least 99% of them are Edomites, okay? So, that's where we're going to close out. 99% of them are Edomites, I say. But there's still that 1%. And that 1%, is all your favorite Jake actors. All right. Rappers, they're all on it. All right. They're all on it. So, I mean, there's an old, let me see, Epstein. Come on now. There was one that had like a... There's this old list. Let's see. Yeah, so this was not a it says, I doubt this is an authentic list, but I guess this is some shit that was like pieced together from some years ago. All right, but I believe it to be true. I mean, it had to come from somewhere, right? And like, there's some names on here that are just kind of like weird to be even on there. So, like I said, it's not. They say it's not necessarily authentic, but I believe it to be true. You got a bunch of people on here: Akon, right? Alec Baldwin, Anderson Cooper, Angelina Jolie, Barack Obama, Bernie Sanders, Beyonce, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates. All right, Bill Clinton's been proved to be true, right? Bruce Willis, Bob Saget, all right, Charles Barkley, Charlie Sheen, right? Cher, Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker's been proved to be on it. All right, got photos with him. Cyndi Lauper, Courtney Cox, Courtney Love, Demi Moore, Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider's known for doing some weird fucking shit. David Spade, you see it. A lot of different people are on this list. Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr. All right, you go to the T's. Tom Hanks should be Tom Hanks, right? Wanda Sykes, Whoopi Goldberg. All right, Oprah Winfrey should be on here in the O's. Oprah, yep, Oprah, and there's photos of him with Oprah. So I mean, it's time and time again. It's just proven. The list like that has proven that it's probably pretty accurate, right? So, yeah, man, we're going to close out there. You're never going to get full transparency about this, like I said, unless the Lord runs a slideshow at the end that we get to see. And, we'll go from there. I mean, I hope we do. All right, it'd be really interesting. But if that's not what the Lord has in store for us, then that's fine. All right, I'm not going to complain. But it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I kind of hope we get to see, like, the true story of, what happened in this world. Right, from start to finish, what really what happened, and I think it would be great, right? But again, that's something if the Lord's gonna do, the Lord's gonna do. All right, we don't have it doesn't say in the Bible, and then he's gonna put a slideshow up, right? So, but yeah, man, we hope, and at least I do. All right, it's kind of one of my things where it's like, I hope we get something like that, because I'm really curious about, think about all the things we know, think about the things that we don't even know that they're doing. All right, who knows what they're doing down there? They'll be sewing people's heads onto fucking sheep or some shit. I don't fucking know. Doing weird shit. I'm just curious. But yeah, man, all the shit with the what was it, the Boston World Fair, and all the shit back there. I want more transparency on that. All right, I'm very interested with that whole World Fair shit, with all this technology that was there and then just went away. Very interested in it, and all the backed by the Rockefellers, and it's interesting, very interesting shit when you look into it. If you ever want a deep dive, go and check that out. What is the Boston World Fair? (1883). Is that what it was? The Boston one? Let me see. Chicago. This right here, the World's Columbian Exposition. Right? The Chicago, not Boston. But go and look in this. Go and look up 1893 Chicago World Fair. All right. Right. Just go do a deep dive on it, man. There's so much shit. There's so much shit out there. All right, this will be a deep dive for you if you haven't done it yet. Mind you, this is all built up, allegedly a plaster of Paris, okay, or something along those lines, something like that, and then just destroyed in a day. This was all temporary, you know, all temporary. And this seems a little insane to be temporary, but that is what they say. They do say it was a temporary exhibit. So that should already be raising red flags. But anyway, that's where we close out. We're getting a little rambly as we do. So we're going to close out there. Lord willing, it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to say shalom to your brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.